Why are you trying to label it everything else? See, I've been all around this country. I've seen it. I've seen California. I've seen Seattle, Florida. And if I haven't lived there, I've seen it. I've seen Chicago, St. Louis, Phoenix, Dallas, Houston, you know, I've seen most of this country. I've met a lot of people. I've seen a lot of people. I'm very American, but I'm independent. I'm independent now. I have alliances with people that America may not agree with, but that's life. We're all humans at the end of the day. Only thing set in stone is death, pretty much. Or leaving the earth, going to heaven. That's set in stone. Can't stay here forever. So you can make enemies friends. But people who become enemies and they gotta realize we live in the real world. We don't live in a fantasy world. This is not Super Mario world. We live in the real world. And when you make mistakes, you have to pay like the rest of us. I went to jail last night because violating a law. I couldn't say, you know who I am. That wouldn't work. They wouldn't care. I complied and things worked out for my benefit. Why can't these enemies and people in this country that know they made mistakes, you made mistakes, why can't you comply like the rest of us? Why can't you take your punishments as we all have to? Why can't you do that? Why can't you go through what's necessary? Huh? Those type of people, man, if they don't live in the real world more than the unemployed person. You think the unemployed person, what are they doing? They got their priorities out of whack. They should be working. What else are they thinking about? I'm wondering what they're thinking about. People that do whatever they want to do while all the rest of us are subject to the laws of the land. We're subject to the laws of the land, the authorities of the land, while the rest of the people get to run around and gang stalk. Like entitled little Americans from the suburbs to get the gang stalk. That's how it looks and feels to me, personally. Entitled suburban Americans that think they're just good gang stalking. Think they're good with that. Or people from the hood that think you so much about your money, you do whatever thing you gotta do. You gotta get your grind on. Yeah, but you gotta pay. You gotta get punished like the rest of us though when you don't line up. You out here part of gang stalking too? And you talking about you gotta get yours, you gotta get your grind on? Yeah, well, unfortunately, getting your grind on is why you're in jail. Because gang stalking is a form of stalking. That's breaking the law, my friend. You can go to jail for that. You know that, right? Oh yeah. And if the American government doesn't do it soon, God is going to do it. And when He does it, and He knows you ignored it, He knew you ignored it. I'm sorry. It's going to be more suffering than you anticipated. That's how this goes. If nobody's responsible, it's all out of control, and we all suffer. You should know that. If no one's responsible, no one's practicing responsibility, then then there's going to be more suffering than those who deserve it. So that's what's happening. See, it took somebody like me. And why I am the way I am is because I am a Christian. I am close to God. I am close to the Lord, for real. I'm not perfect, but he knew that when he chose me. He knew that when I was born. He knew I would never be perfect. The beautiful thing about being a human is that you realize, hey, well, I ain't got to be perfect. But that doesn't mean we just get to sit back like America and just ignore the fact that everybody can't be working. I mean, it's ignored. It's neglected. That's a better word to say. It's neglected. When you got bombs, you got everything else, and you got money for Ukraine. Who knows what they started over there? We don't know those politics. You don't know the street politics between Ukraine and Russia, do you? Can you honestly say you know? They don't know your politics. So they know the street politics, all this gang stalking, all this foolishness going on over here. The Russians and the Ukrainians know. They might have get a whiff of it, but they don't really know, do they? So how you know they street politics over there in Ukraine? How you know the street politics between Russia and Ukraine? You don't know. I don't think they're innocent. I really don't think the Ukrainian people are innocent. Nah. So they just angels that Russia just attacked. Russia's attacking angels. Okay. Russia's attacking angels right now. Okay. I'll let you tell it. Only problem with that is I'm not naive. It's something. It's something going over there. It's something going on over there. And we don't know it all. We don't know all the politics. We don't know the street politics over there. Yeah, you got to talk like that. We don't know the street politics between Russia and Ukraine. That's a 7. Yet, you taking millions of dollars and sending it over there to the Ukrainian people. When you could be bringing down the cost of living. You can get that same money, hear this part, you can give that same money to these landlords and these housing people and bring down the cost of living in all these great metropolises in the country. You could be bringing down the cost of living for us. Huh? But yet you sending money to Ukraine and you don't even know the street politics between Russia and Ukraine. You can't claim to know that. How you know? You can't claim to know that. Oh, you can receive intelligence? Yeah. Halfway. Halfway intelligence. That part. It's ridiculous. But everybody knows it all but us, right? Everybody knows it all but me, right? Huh. It's a trip, man. But I know for sure when you talk about millions of dollars, that money could be put towards starting a relationship between the government and these housing people. That's a 7. You need to start taking trillions of dollars. Yes. You need to start taking. The problem is no one wants to pay the money. That's really what it is. If you really look at it for what it is, that's what it boils down to. It boils down, when the water boils, what is left is people don't want to spend the money. They don't know where to get it from. You need to figure it out. When you can take money and figure out how to take it to the Ukraine, you need to take and figure out how you can get money to these housing people across the country and all the great metropolises so that the cost of living is realistic for the people of America. And according to the wage that they're getting. The cost of living is realistic, not surreal. That's a 7. That's what we talk about, man. And like I said, this is the biggest conversation. I don't want to hear nothing else. Ain't nothing else to talk about, man. What else is there? Really? And this is what, when you really elevate yourself and you really focus and pay attention, because half of y'all ain't paying attention. So you live the 9 to 5 life. All of us did it. All of us did it. We live the 9 to 5 lifestyle. You're back and forth to work. You got some friends, you got a girl, you got a boyfriend if you're a lady. You back and forth to work. The weekends you turn up, you know what I'm saying? And you do it all over again. You're caught up in that. You ain't got time to pay attention. That's why it took somebody like me. Now I had time to really look and pay attention. Just sit there and look for a while. Just just stand there and look. And you didn't have the time to do it. That's why you can't judge everybody in their position. Because see, you too busy living the 9 to 5 lifestyle, and I ain't knocking that. But you ain't got time to come home and work and think about this and really analyze this. Because by the time you get home, you gotta eat, you gotta spend time with your companion, spend time with your kids if you got some. Get some sleep. Do it over again and over and over again. And that's how they get you. I'm not saying they're doing it on purpose, but they definitely ain't going out their way when that's their only job to worry about these wages to do something about it. They ain't bringing it up in the conversation. They ain't doing that. They got the time to do it, but they ain't doing it. So guess whose jobs it become? A Christian. Somebody who God speaks to and say, look at that. So it becomes my job to show you because the government ain't doing it. So and God comes to me. Show you how they ain't even focused on it. They ain't focused on it. But that's all they got to do while you working. That's your excuse. You working for your family. What's their excuse when they supposed to be governing us? That's a 7. Well, that is their job. See, you see the games, like, if you streetwise, man, you should be like me. You should be waving your hand like me. Nah. It's the games. It's time for the games to quit, man. If you really are streetwise, if you really claim to have street wisdom, it should be kicking in right about now. Hey, bro, how many times you gonna let these people pull you to the voting polls and tell you they're gonna do this, that, and the third, and nothing changes? When is your street wisdom, for real though? When is your street wisdom gonna kick in? When, bruh? I'm talking about real reality. The difference between some people eating and some people not eating. That's what I'm talking about. Some people being on the streets and being in the house, being warm right now. Some people crying because they're on the streets. This ain't no game. I ain't talking about nothing funny. This is real. And if anybody ever been homeless, you know it's real. And this is the difference. And this is why I'm telling you, you keep putting these people in power. And they good. They're good. They're living the life. They're living their life, man. Oh, you thought they were just politicians. They broke. Why they got millions of dollars of their own money to do their during times where they're being elected. You hear it time and time again. They spent their own money, millions of dollars. Yeah, they don't sit up and blow trumpets about the money, but they got it. Come on, man. You need to realize these people are rich. These politicians are not broke. They're broke politicians. So these politicians are broke. They're poor. These politicians are at least middle class. At least. And that's upper middle class. And I'm being generous when I say that. I'm being generous when I say that. But they're at least, at minimum, we can all agree, upper middle class, bro. So guess what? They got theirs at the end of the day. Look, man, God did not design this world to be like this, man. Where they got all this money. And look. But they hoarding it and they spending it to the Ukraine. That war should show you everything you need to know. They just pulled it out of nowhere. Did it take 1,000,000 years? Didn't take long at all, right? And is it really an urgency for you? Like, look, I'm not talking about not having compassion. I'm not talking about that. Okay, you send money, you send a little food. Send food more than anything. Hey, you got to eat first. No, I'm not trying to be funny. But send food. Send some biscuits first. Send some meat and biscuits first, bro. You're sending trillions of dollars. Man, this is an issue. Because otherwise, man, we playing games. We playing games, man. I don't know how to do that. I don't know how to do that. If you want this country to really be what you think it is, because you think it's something that it's not. I just told you, everybody cannot work here at the same time. So you now know that. I don't care what they tell you. I don't care how they shuck and jive. I don't care how they move around and waltz around. When they get done waltzing around, all of you cannot be employed at one time. Okay? They can take millions of dollars and put it wherever they want, but they ain't never started no relationship between these landlords and housing people. They ain't started no financial relationship to bring down the cost of living. But yet they're rich. That's what I'm saying. They got their bag. They got their bag. This is supposed to be one of the greatest countries in the world where you should be able to work hard and be rich if you want to. You should be able to be at least upper middle class by working hard. And then you can come up with ideas and you can do other stuff to become rich. You can stack your money and become rich. That's a 7. You should be able to work hard, be upper middle class, and become rich from stacking your money. That's a 7. I can stop right here. I can stop right there. And therefore you could be rich from hard work. That's what everybody really want. They ain't gonna say it, but that's what you're yearning for. You're yearning to be rich. If you're American, most of you, and you can be, if they would if the government had relationships with the cost with the housing people all across the country, everywhere. They had a financial relationship with them, programs, huge national programs, where they're sending in millions, trillions, and trillions to bring it down in order for you to be able to work hard as the upper middle class, getting to upper middle class, and then you can stack your money at upper middle class and become rich. And if you're lucky, you come up with ideas, you can become wealthy. You can become wealthy. But you can't do that when you're working hard and you're spinning your wheels because of the cost of living and the wage that you're getting. You're spinning your wheels. I don't care how hard you work. And that's the sad part. And then you wonder why there's separation. Then you wonder why we're divided. Then you wonder why people want to be independent. It ain't no mystery to me. It's no mystery to me, buddy.